Hey, what's up? It's Mr. Cartoon. I'm best known for doing tattoos and graffiti. My class just dropped on Skillshare. Come check out an exclusive sneak peek of my work. Now we're actually going into the graffiti side of town, if you will. Yet, we're not really doing graffiti. We're using spray paint as a sign painting tool, right, for this project. So let's just say C-Tunes Animation was my client. The next step I would do after they love the logo and everything, I would take a picture of the wall that they want the mural on. I'm gonna drag in the image of the C with a pencil onto the brick wall. I put a white base behind it because a lot of times it could disappear and you want that white base or that opaque base coat base to make it jump. I'm gonna color it on here and get it as far as I can before we go outside and actually lay some spray paint down. Now I'm gonna add another layer. I'm gonna go to my colors, go to like a goldish yellow, right? And put this on a multiply layer. Let's blow it up a little bit and add it where the pencil's at. The reason I'm gonna add color on this is because it's outside and people are driving by and they wanna see it. I'm just using a smidge of color. 90% of my work is black and white, but learn to use color. Sometimes you have no choice. So now I'm gonna find a tan color and something that remarks a pencil. Let's get a good picture of an old school pencil. Try to blow this up, screenshot it. I'm gonna use this color right here. Just bring this image in real small to the corner and let's use that. Okay. Let's add another layer on there. Let's make that multiply. Boom, start to put the tan of the wood in there. You can always have a different look, you know? It has right here, I'm gonna kind of create a little wood grain right there. Boom. Now you got a little color popping in there. You can also go back, add another layer so it's on regular. I'm gonna go to the white and I'm gonna add a few little highlights. This really makes it luxurious. Now, if I wanna add some gray in, let's just say the customers want gray. Let's start to fill this in gray. Just fill it all in like this. I'm just gonna do it real fast. Now I'm gonna go back with my little eraser. This is just really to show the client, so right now I'm doing it real fast, but if you take your time on it, you can make it perfect. Now, for fun part, I might add a couple little white highlights on. Clients love it, and it looks good. A little bit big. There's my little character. So really, the world is yours. You can go back in, say a black shadow. Let's make it gray. Okay. Make a cool little shadow right here. You know, when I was first coming up, I didn't know how to use lettering quills or any type of one-shot paint. I did everything in spray paint. And it took me around the world. You know, I used to do the movie sets for crime shows and stuff like that. They'd give me a blank fake wall and tell me to destroy it and then give me a check afterwards. That's when I was like, man, that's like getting paid for ice cream, eating ice cream, you know? This is pretty much it I'm gonna show the client this. Be like, what you think? Once I'm happy with the design or a client gives me approval, next is to do it on their business. There's a lot of different factors that go there. The texture of the wall, how high, how low, do you need ladders? Do you need a scissor lift? I want to step back and I want to look at the wall, right? But sometimes I can't just sit there all day staring at the wall. So I'll take a picture of the wall, come back to my studio, put the artwork on it, make sure it fits. Sometimes there's the drain pipe right there. Sometimes there's an electrical box getting in the way. Different factors, right? So what I did here is I took a picture of the wall. I dragged the artwork in. I'm going to place it on the wall. And it really helps me for, you know, gridding the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know how big to put it? Blah, blah, blah. So even if on this picture I took, I can count the bricks all the way to the bottom of the letters, and I can count the bricks from the top. These are old school graffiti methods. You know what I'm saying? If there's lines in the wall, use that as a ruler. So I show this to the client. Client says, I love it. It's a go. Now there's other factors that go along with that. Now you got to go paint outside. You got to paint in the sun. Best to have one of your friends there with you. Traffic control. Someone needs to hold that ladder too when you get up there. I recommend putting a table out there, have your little wireless beat box right there, have an ice chest with some food, have some fold out chairs, some extension cords. All that type of stuff is extremely important. These are all things that are not really related to the drawing that you got to do or outside of the drawing, right? These are outside preparation that you got to do. But it's fun because once you start to get the hang of it, it starts to flow. And you're real grateful that you brought that ice chest out there. And then you start painting the wall. That's when it gets serious. The first thing I do when I go out to paint a mural, I make sure all my tools are right. I have the correct colors for my paint. I got some rags right there. Got some latex gloves I can put on. And I have the correct tips. The tips are the caps on a spray paint can. You guys are very fortunate now in 2022 to have an assortment of caps. Back in the day, we only had one size. Now they have the wide spray, medium, down to a fine line. I like to use what they call a fat cap. It's a clean, medium line that can get sharp if you hold the can close to the wall. Once again, you can find all these caps online. You could probably, ask the paint shop which one's the most popular. Get a fat one, get a medium, get a liner, and get a skinny cap. You'll use those the most. Don't worry, because on the resource page, you're going to see all my favorite tools, from the caps to the paint to the pens to the tablet. So don't trip. The next step, get my cans ready, and I'm going to have to shake the shit out of these cans, right? Don't just give them a couple shakes and think they're going to be cool. You really have to shake it hard. When I lay out a wall, I want to use a color that is very close to the wall that I'm doing. Today, it's a brick color. So I'm going to find that color and I'm going to sketch my C out. Once I'm confident in that, I'll go back with the background color and work in reverse. So I'll get my gray, which is probably the biggest area to cover, and I start filling that in. You're going to go over that C outline a little bit, but it's okay. Just fill it in, try to get it as solid as possible, and now we move on to the pencil. Sometimes you might want to lay a little white down first and then go over with the yellow. The yellow can be transparent. Then I want to go on to the wood color, find a spray paint can closest to that, and then I would actually throw a little shadow around it, being that it's your choice really, but a little white outline around it or something to bring it out. Once I get the colors settled in and pretty solid, I start to think about going back in with the black. Now, this is the most final thing, but if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. Because when painting, you can take that gray color and you could chop and clean the black outline out. When I'm pretty much satisfied with all that, I'll get my white, and that's like the cherry on top. I start putting the little highlights on where I think the sun would hit. After that, I could even do a shadow off of the shadow. So adding multiple drop shadows in is kind of your taste. If the client's cool to let you just do what you do, just keep doing it the way you like it. It's important to have a reference nearby. Sometimes you want to hold it in your hand on a printed piece of paper. Sometimes it's your phone. You need that reference right there so you can look back and remind yourself what you're doing. Because a lot of times we'll start adding stuff, but maybe the client don't want that, right? So have that reference close to you. Have some different tips. You're going to need different tips if they clog. It's good to have some backup cans, backup colors. Try to take some fold-out chairs, little things like that. When you're on the road, you're going to figure out how to pack so that you're comfortable. Hey, thanks for checking out my lesson. To see the full clip, check out the link below.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest videos.